a spokesperson of a terrorism industry, which is the mainstay of Pakistan. His positions were called out and they were countered, including at the SCO meeting itself. So let me come to the specifics. On the China-Pakistan economic corridor, this so-called corridor, I think it was made very clear, not once but twice in the SCO meeting, that connectivity is good for progress, but connectivity cannot violate the territorial integrity and sovereignty of states. So this has been our long-standing position. Nobody should have any doubt about it. And I assure you, those who are in the room today had no doubt about it. I made sure of that. Regarding आपका दूसरा जो था वो G20 के बारे में था. Now, you know, I don't think there is a G20 issue to debate with anybody. Certainly not with a country which is nothing to do with the G20. I mean, Jammu and Kashmir was, is, will always be a part of India. And the G20 meetings are held in all the Indian states and union territories, so it is completely natural that it is held there. जो आपका जो दूसरा सवाल जो था कि from what I understood that India and Pakistan should sit together. You know, victims of terrorism do not sit together with perpetrators of terrorism to discuss terrorism. Victims of terrorism defend themselves, counter acts of terrorism, they call it out, they delegitimize it, and that is exactly what is happening. So to come here and preach these hypocritical words as though we are on the same boat, I mean, they are committing acts of terrorism. And, you know, I don't want to jump the gun on what happened today, but I think we're all feeling equally outraged. So, I think, I mean, let's be very, very clear on this. You know, on this matter, the terrorism matter, I mean, I would say Pakistan's credibility is depleting even faster than its forex reserves. So, you know, let's be clear what this is about. On your question, you know, is this a breakthrough? Look, he came here as a member, a foreign minister of an SCO member state. That is part of multilateral diplomacy. Please do not see it as anything more than that. It was not meant as anything more than that. It was not treated as anything more than that. And I think nothing that from what he said or what I heard he said deserves for this to be treated more than that. The China question. Look, my understanding of what the Chinese said, I think they used the word stable, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is that there is an abnormal position in the boundary areas, border areas, along the boundary. And we had a very frank discussion about it. It's not the first discussion. I had spoken to Foreign Minister Chingang on the sidelines of the G20 as well. We have to take the disengagement process forward. And I have made it very clear, frankly, publicly as well, and you know, what I say within the room is not different from what I say outside, which is that India-China relations are not normal and cannot be normal if the peace and tranquility in the border areas is disturbed. You know, I've been very, very clear about it. I've been very consistent about it, and I have not changed my position at this meeting either.
Thank you, sir. Listen, before, in the interest of efficiency, please do not repeat similar questions or try to come back to it. I think, so I'll take fresh questions on that. Maha? Yeah.
Sir Mahasiddhiti from NDTV. Sir, how does India view being part of an organization which is now largely being viewed as an anti-West grouping?
Yeah, Neeraj. One second.
सर नीरज हूँ न्यूज 18 इंडिया से। आपने कहा कि G20 से पाकिस्तान का कोई लेना देना नहीं है, लेकिन बिलावल भुट्टो ने यह भी कहा श्रीनगर में जो पर्यटन के मसले पर बैठक हो रही है वक्त पर ऐसा जवाब देंगे कि उनको याद रहेगा। इस स्टेटमेंट को भारत कैसे देखता है?
देखिए स्पेसिफिक ऐसे क्वेश्चन नहीं हो पाएगा, जवाब दे चुके हैं।
मैं इसका भी जवाब दूंगा।
Yes, sir, please go ahead. One second, no, please.
थैंक यू सर।
Yeah, gentlemen.
Thank you. Dmitry Melnikov from Russian TV. Sir, was Ukrainian crisis part of today's discussion, and did Mr. Lavrov tell you about the recent attack on Kremlin in Moscow, and what is your point of view? Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you. Microphone coming to you. No, him. Yeah, right.
Hello, sir. Rishikesh, Press Trust of India say. Sir, Pak FM also said that we should not get caught up in weaponizing terrorism for diplomatic point scoring. So, what are your views on this?
Manish, you want Manish? Yeah, microphone. So we take this 5.
Sir, Manish Chand, India Rights Network. Just before his meeting with you, Chinese Foreign Minister was addressing a function in honor of Dr. Kotnis, where he spoke about people-to-people contacts and finding a new path of peaceful coexistence. Did you see any signaling towards, some sort of peace move, some sort of restructuring of engagement?
Manish, she answered this question. Anyway,
No,
thank you, sir.
still the people-to-people part is important.
Okay, let me start with the anti-West, SCO perceived as an anti-Western grouping. Look, how people perceive it is something I cannot answer for. What I can say is it is a grouping where membership serves India's interests. India has a multi-directional foreign policy with many partners, and it's not always necessary or sometimes possible that all partners get along with other partners. So this is characteristic of the foreign policy in today's very fluid and I would say multipolar and sometimes uncertain, volatile world. So we are members of SCO because it serves our interests. It is a major Eurasian grouping. There are, most other members of this grouping are countries with whom we have strong bilateral relationships, obviously not all. I think really that's how I would present our participation. I will jump that question, come to the Ukraine question because I want to take the Pakistan related questions together. On the Ukraine, I wouldn't say there was focused discussion on developments in Ukraine, including recent developments. There were references to it. There were some references to it in the SCO formal session. There was some reference to it in the informal meeting that we had of the foreign ministers yesterday. I think that would be really the right characterization of what happened in the room. Regarding the Kotnis, Dr. Kotnis question and people to people. Look, again, I think Arindam made the point. I mean, I've answered this in a way that relations today are not normal. So to suggest somehow that they are and everything else can continue and, while the relevant issues, the central problems are not being effectively addressed, I think it won't wash. That there are issues we need to discuss. I think we both countries need to be clear about it. Now, it may be the endeavor or expectation to try and project exactly the kind of picture which you would suggest. But I would not go along with it. I certainly will not play along with it. Then on the जो आपका सवाल जो था, देखिए, I said उनका कोई G20 से लेना देना नहीं है. I will also say उनका कोई श्रीनगर से भी लेना देना नहीं है. There is only one issue to discuss on Kashmir, which is when does Pakistan vacate its illegal occupation of Pakistan occupied Kashmir. That is the only issue up for discussion. On the weaponization, it's a very interesting statement because it unconsciously reveals a mindset. What does weaponizing something mean? It means that the activity is legitimate and somebody is weaponizing it. So you say you are weaponizing trade, you are weaponizing technology. Somebody says you are weaponizing terrorism, that means they think terrorism is legitimate, that we should not weaponize it. That is normal. Okay. Now, what are we doing? We are countering ourselves, countering terrorism. We are defending ourselves. We are calling it out. We are exposing it. And some of it is what you saw today. So, to me, we are not scoring diplomatic points. We are politically, diplomatically exposing Pakistan before the world. And as a victim of terrorism, I'm completely entitled to do so. I mean, what do you mean we should not weaponize terrorism? That means as a victim, I'm supposed to put up with it. I mean, so you not only commit terrorism, but you say, oh, please do not even speak about it. I mean, come on. So, to me, that sentence, it spoke so much about a mindset of that country that you can all, see for yourselves.
Thank you. So we'll take a few more questions.
सर, पाकिस्तान के विदेश मंत्री ने ये भी कहा कि पीस, सर इधर विजय लक्ष्मी हूँ इंडिया टीवी से. सर, पाकिस्तान के विदेश मंत्री ने ये भी कहा कि पीस इज आवर डेस्टिनी एंड वी शुड नॉट बी हेल्ड होस्टेज टू आवर हिस्ट्री. हम हिस्ट्री खुद क्रिएट करेंगे. लेकिन आज ही राजौरी में हमला होता है, हमारे कई जवान शहीद होते हैं. कुछ दिनों पहले पुंछ में भी हमला हुआ. लेकिन यहाँ पर पाकिस्तान का दोहरा चरित्र, हालांकि अंग्रेजी में आप जवाब दे चुके हैं इसका, हिंदी में चाहूंगी, क्या पाकिस्तान का दोहरा चरित्र इसी से जाहिर होता है?
इस टॉपिक पे बात 3 बार हो चुका है.
उसका सबूत भी चाहिए क्या?
प्लीज मैम, आई रिमेंबर योर. यस मैम, गो अहेड.
Runjan Sharma, RT. There are speculations on SCO becoming a military alliance. How does India see the role of SCO, particularly in the security area?
Yeah, behind there. Yes, please. Yeah, you, please. To the mic.
Yeah, I'm Sandeep Dikshit with the Tribune. Mr. Jaishankar spoke about modernization and reform of SCO. Can you please dwell a little more on it?
Last question there at the back.
सर, मैं विशाल पांडे हूँ जी न्यूज से. आपने पाकिस्तान को आतंकवाद के मुद्दे पर जब से आईना दिखाया है, बिलावल भुट्टो आज काफी परेशान नजर आए. वो बार बार 5 अगस्त 2019 का जिक्र कर रहे हैं. 5 अगस्त वो तारीख है जब धारा 370 हटी थी. कैसे जवाब देना चाहेंगे? क्या उस दुख को अभी वो भूल नहीं पा रहे हैं, धारा 370 जब से हटी है?
Okay, I think we'll close with that. So I think questions are getting very similar. I will hand over the... no, I don't have time. I'm really... unless you have something very specifically different? Okay. No, sorry, I've taken lots of questions. Amitabh, one last one. Yeah.
सर, मैं अमित हूँ टाइम्स नाउ नौबाद से. उन्होंने एक बात कही कि स्पोर्ट्स को और राजनीति को अलग रखनी चाहिए और वो चाहते हैं कि स्पोर्ट्स को बंधक ना बनाया जाए. उन्होंने ये भी आरोप लगाया कि ब्लाइंड
मैं कुछ कह पाऊं? ये इंटरव्यू आपके कमेंट्स के लिए नहीं, उन्होंने क्या कहा और हमारा क्या रिस्पॉन्स है, इस तरह से नहीं हो सकता. सॉरी, मैं क्लोज करना चाहूंगा. सर, फ्लोर इज योर्स.
Look, पहला सवाल पीस इज डेस्टिनी इन्होंने पूछा, आपने पूछा ना. See, whether peace is destiny or not, I do not know. Terrorism cannot be destiny. A country which does terrorism cannot talk about peace in the same breath. तो साथ माने आतंकवाद भी करें और शांति की भी बात करें, ये थोड़ी चलेगा। तो इसीलिए मैंने कहा कि उनकी क्रेडिबिलिटी आप देखें, वो तो कुछ भी कह सकते, और उस देश का इतिहास इस, ये कोई नई बात नहीं। तो आज जो कहते हैं ना, द पुराना प्लेबुक जो है, वो पुराना प्लेबुक एक बार और चल रहा था, लोकेशन अलग था, गोवा था, प्लेबुक वही था, पुराना था। अब जो on the SCO, no, look, SCO is a I would say regional organizations with very specific political objectives and, you know, economic, you can say economic, technology, people to people. That's the kind of agenda and mandate that it has. I really do not see it going in the direction which you suggested. On the modernization and reform of SCO, you know, this was something which was discussed at the previous summit. The numbers, the members of SCO are growing. The organization, you know, is now quite a few years old. The dialogue partners are growing, the observers are growing. So the feeling was that, you know, we have to, in fact, one of the issues is also language. That SCO language, because of its original composition, was Russian and Chinese. So today, a country like India, and I raised this issue specifically, that, you know, we also need to make English one of the working languages of the SCO. So there are a number of issues of finance, issues of organization, of its working, of its membership. So the overall sense was that we need to, you know, sit and discuss it. I think one meeting has been held in Kazakhstan.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar launching a scathing attack against Pakistan, saying that those who are perpetrators of terrorism cannot be talking to those who are victims of terrorism. And India did call out Pakistan. External Affairs Minister saying it in the most unscathing terms, and, you know, not mincing his words and launching a scathing attack. Shifting focus now to News Epicenter. You're watching News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. It's the slog overs in the battle for Karnataka with just 5 days to go for polling on 10th of May. The main players, the BJP and the Congress, are working tirelessly to turn the tide in their favor. The top leaders and star campaigners are touring the poll-bound state, while the Congress is banking on an anti-incumbency wave that has worked since 1985. The ruling party is leaving no stone unturned to gain a simple majority, that is 113 seats in the 224-member Karnataka Assembly, a feat BJP has never achieved. While the Congress was already facing the brunt of its manifesto promising to ban Bajrang Dal in the state, the Prime Minister has intensified his attacks on the Congress. While addressing a rally in Tumkuru, the Prime Minister cited the ongoing controversy around the release of the Kerala story, launching a fresh attack against the Congress. The Prime Minister said that the film, The Kerala Story, shows the ugly truth of terrorism and exposes the plans of terrorists, and that the Congress has been standing with terrorism, appeasing terrorists by opposing the film. He said that the Congress has shielded terrorism for years for votes. Earlier today, the Kerala High Court refused to issue a stay order on the release of the film and pointed out that the teaser of the movie was released in November 2022. Thus, objections to the film should have been raised then. The court said, and I quote what the court pointed out, what was offensive in the film? What was offensive in the trailer? So many movies have already come out about such organizations. The court observed that there has been references against Hindu monks and Christian priests in many films before before and said, did you see all this in the way of fiction? What is so special about it? On Thursday, the Supreme Court, remember, had rebuffed the attempt by petitioners seeking a stay on the release of the film, The Kerala Story, saying that a filmmaker invests a lot of money and time in making a movie, and actors also put in a lot of work, and the market will decide if it is not up to the mark. The Kerala Story producer, Vipul Shah, will be joining me shortly on the reaction of what the Prime Minister has said and the relief that they got from the Kerala court.
आईसिस कब ज्वाइन किया ये जानने के लिए क्यों ज्वाइन किया और कैसे ज्वाइन किया ये जानना जरूरी है
देश का इतना खूबसूरत राज्य जहां के लोग इतने परिश्रमी और प्रतिभाशाली होते हैं उस केरला में चल रही आतंकी साजिश का खुलासा ये केरला स्टोरी फिल्म में, केरला फाइल्स फिल्म में उसे किया गया है। और देश का दुर्भाग्य देखिए कि कांग्रेस आज समाज को तहस नहस करने वाली इस आतंकी प्रवृत्ति के साथ खड़ी हुई नजर आ रही है।
As the Kerala Story makes an entry into Karnataka elections, how are the producer and the actor of the film viewing it? Vipul Shah, film producer, is joining me live, and also will be Ada Sharma shortly. Vipul Shah, first day, first show, first day. How did it look like for you? Did it meet the expectations?
Actually, it's way beyond the expectation. We were not expecting the collections to be so strong. We were not expecting it, people to turn up in such huge number, because there was such a strong propaganda against our film. We were attacked from every corner. So it was extremely heartening to see that actually the people of this country, they have decided to connect with this issue that we are raising through this film. And they did not buy into any of the attacks, and they all turned up in huge numbers. And if you look at the evening and the night shows, it's going bumper. So even trade, who was cynic about the film's success or acceptance few days back, today they all have come out with the articles of right from the morning saying that great booking and great response and great numbers for the film. It will create some kind of record.
And
but what's most heartening is
before I move into the politics of it, because this has made entry into Karnataka elections, the state which goes to polls on 10th, Vipul, I want to get a quick view from you on what the Kerala High Court said. Nothing will happen just because the film is screened. The teaser of the film was released in November. What was offensive in the film? What is wrong in saying that Allah is the only God? So many movies have already come out about such organizations. There have been references against Hindu monks and Christian priests in many films. Did you see all this in the way of fiction? So essentially, if it is about fiction, why this entire furor? Are you relieved?
It's a terrific judgment, because it just kind of clarifies our stand, whatever we have been fighting for. And the court has kind of ended this debate for once and for all, at least in our opinion. It's a very, very good judgment, and it has very openly accepted the fact that in the past, there are many films where the religious priests of various religions have been shown in bad light. So I think in that sense, it's a terrific judgment, and it also did not stay the film, so the audiences can go and see the film and decide for themselves. So I really, we all are really relieved. Today there were 12 petitions against the film, 10 or 12 petitions against the film, and none of them got the relief. So we are relieved, and we could release the film and get the kind of response that we are getting now. So it's overwhelming in many senses.
And Vipul, because the kind of judgment that has come in, because the order has raised some questions with regards to these petitions which keep coming with regards to the banning of any film. So do you think that will set the tone for future, in the sense that the point that has been made about ISIS activity, which is a truth as well?
So the main point is that many people who have been questioning that why are these lines, I want to clarify that we saw, we have those video footages of the girls, and these are the lines that were told to them. And they have spoken these lines in their testimonies. We have just taken it from those testimonies and put it in the film. Again, the intention was never, we have made it very, very clear time and again that the intention was never to target any community or any religion. It was to just expose the terrorism. And I think our stand has been vindicated by the court today. And that's why they did not get the kind of relief that they were looking for. And we got the relief that we were looking for. So it's been a great day for us. We are really relieved.
Before I continue this conversation, I would like to really tell you that Ada hasn't joined us, and we are expecting her to join us any moment. So would you be...
Maria, she is here. I can see her.
You can see her, but we can't.
Really?
Yes, Ada, I can't see you as yet. So I'm going to ask the producer. Ada, can you see me? Hear me?
Yes, I can see and hear you.
Okay, since both of you are on the same ID, perhaps that is the reason. Vipul has sent you the next Zoom ID. If you can join on that one, that will be better.
Okay, let me.
Yes.
I joined that only actually. But...
You've joined in that?
Seen another one.
Yes. We'll try and fix this.
Joining on the other.
Yes. So that will be good if you can join on the second one, Ada. But yes, in the meanwhile, Vipul, the point that has been made by the Prime Minister today in Karnataka, where he says that it is the Congress party which has been standing with terrorism, appeasing terrorists by opposing the film. It has become a political talking point.
I think what Prime Minister has done is that he's got the issue right in the forefront for the whole nation to understand that this is a very important issue. And I think that is what we always wanted. We have said it. In my last interview with you, I had said that we just want everybody to recognize that there is a huge issue and we need to address it. We need to look at this problem. And today, when Prime Minister speaks about it, the whole nation has heard it loud and clear through all the clutter of all the chaos and accusation, counter accusation, and all of that now is out of the window. And the country listens to him very, very carefully. So when he makes a point, it registers. It now is an issue where it should have been. And I think the country will react to this issue much stronger and with greater awareness. So I think we are very, very thankful to the Prime Minister for doing this, bringing this issue to the fore, which is what we always wanted.
I can see Ada now. Ada, congratulations for what has been a fantastic first day, first show. My question to you would be regarding what the Prime Minister said in Karnataka, that the Congress party has shielded terrorism for years for votes. Do you think this entire allegation against this cinema was largely to do with politics behind it?
Well, when we made the film, we did not make it as a political film or anything. It's an emotional film, and those who are watching it are connecting to the emotion, and that's why the audience is loving it. As far as the Prime Minister commenting on it and saying that it is a film that is about terrorism, like Vipul sir said, I think that gives us so much gratification, and it almost like validates it because he has said it. So yeah, I'm really thrilled. I'm over the moon.
And the relief that you've got from the Kerala High Court, this is certainly about that this is also a work of fiction. I mean, in the sense that a work of fiction which highlights a dark fault line, a fault line which has been brought on the surface, and it's an uncomfortable truth.
Right, but we are telling stories of thousands of girls through the eyes of 3 girls. It's impossible now in a film to tell the story of more than those many girls because we have 2 hours. So even telling you the story of this girl who's telling you about 2 of her friends is, I think we were already, it's such an uphill task to be correct to the subject and tell you everything. However, the girls, the victims, they called me up and they were so touched and they were really happy. So that's another huge validation for me as an actor. And as far as the politics of it goes, I don't know politics. I don't understand politics. As an actor, we're creative people. We understand emotion, and I'm glad that the film is emotionally connecting to everyone watching it, and people are going to the theater to watch the film. Yeah.
Vipul, before I let you go, the response that has come is also because this is being viewed from a certain prism. The fact that the Prime Minister spoke about it in Karnataka was because the BJP wants to make it a talking point. This was essentially used to launch a scathing attack against the Congress. What is the response that you have got from the politicians? Is there some view or have certain politicians from Kerala reached out to you? We have seen what Shashi Tharoor and others have tweeted, that this is not our Kerala story. It may be theirs or some work of fiction, but this is not truth.
As far as Mr. Shashi Tharoor's tweet goes, while we were working on the research, we had come across another tweet by him where he had taken some of the mothers of these girls who had gone to Afghanistan to meet then External Affairs Minister Ms. Sushma Swaraj ji. And when we saw that tweet, it encouraged us that what we are doing is actually a big problem, and it's we are in the right direction. So in many senses, we were quite surprised with Mr. Tharoor's tweet when it came. But again, they are politicians and they have to, work on according to their political lines and political ideologies. We will never be able to understand that. We are filmmakers. We want to make our films. We want to, and I believe when you make a subject as powerful as this and as important as this, the political ideologies will clash. Our job is to just go ahead and make a film. So we would like to stay away from the political debate. But the fact that our Honorable Prime Minister has, put this topic right in the center of the nation's debate right now, validates what we always believe. And we are very grateful and thankful to him that he's done it. And through this, I'm sure we will be able to bring a tremendous amount of awareness and save many, many girls from, getting into a trap which is going to destroy their lives. So we are extremely elated and happy.
And Ada, the point that has been made by the Prime Minister has been about that by opposing the film, the Congress party is appeasing terrorists and standing with terrorism.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yes. Ada, if you can respond to that question.
Sorry, can you please repeat it? I couldn't hear you.
Yes. So, Vipul, the question that I'm asking is that the Prime Minister has said that by opposing this film, and there are several sections of politicians who are opposing this film, and there are several petitions, as you said, that has been filed in courts across the country to ban the release. The film has been released though. The Congress party is standing with terrorism and appeasing terrorists. These are the words of the Prime Minister.
I'll leave Congress to respond to that, but all I can say and appeal to everybody who is opposing this film so far, that if you now are convinced that this film is against terrorism and not against any community or any religion, please join this fight. Let's save our daughters. Let's save as many daughters as we can. Let's try and end this menace. Let's all join hands, because everybody will bring something to the table. And Congress has to introspect how they want to react to this situation. We are nobody to tell Congress what to do. If the Prime Minister has made such a strong observation, I'm sure Congress will think and they will have to introspect and respond accordingly.
Ada, your thoughts?
Well, I have a film that's released today that people are loving, and the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister, has spoken about. So I don't want to get into the politics of it. I don't know. I can't tell somebody react this way or say anything. But I can't believe. I feel like I'm still in a dream where we're getting so much appreciation and love. So.
But Ada, were there more girls who came and told you that, you know, you may be talking about just a few, depicted it through these three girls, but there are several others who wanted to share their stories?
You mean in real life, like
yes.
Real life victims?
Yes,
of course. But a lot of what we put in was a gist also of so many things that, like I told you, I read one of the girls' books, the material that I read, and a lot of instances, like now since the movie is out, the way I react to my mother when I meet her after going back from college, a lot of the heinous incidents. In fact, our director even showed me this whole video of these women when they are trafficked, and they're put into this tanker, which is like a washing machine. You stuff the women and children into it, and then when you take them out like clothes in the washing machine. Some of their bones and all are broken, and it's really disturbing. So things like that we saw, I'm glad we were able to put on screen. And also, I think people are getting that it's a really dark subject. It's a really important issue. I mean, people are being drugged with Captagon, amphetamine, and just shipped away, human trafficking. So I think any girl would feel sensitively towards this if she can kind of identify or maybe put herself in that position. What if it could be her or somebody she knew?
Okay, Vipul, last question to you. Do you think the entire controversy happened only because you talked about that number 32,000?
Could be. That could be one of the reasons for people to say that, oh, this is too big a number, and then that could have created some amount of doubt. But I guess today's orders and the intervention of the Prime Minister puts all of that behind us, and the fact that audience is really loving it and audience is coming in big numbers to see the film, and the kind of love and messages that we are getting is so overwhelming that I think now is the time for people to just go and see the film, and they will find the answers. Everybody who is going to see the film is coming out and saying that this truth has to be shown to the world. So I think that's where I think the debate is now.
All right, Ada and Vipul, thank you so much, and all the best as the film hits the theatres today. Let me bring in my guests. Neeti Jain, BJP spokesperson; Nasir Abdullah, actor; Ravi Rai, director; Rahul Ishwar, activist; Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist. Neeti, the question is, why talk about Kerala's story in battleground Karnataka?
Maria, the point is that I think what the comment was not just about the Kerala story. It was about taking a kind of support from and hiding behind this entire terrorism, so to say. So historically, if you talk about it, we know Congress, when the Mumbai attacks happened, they spoke about Hindu terrorists. Then there was Rahul Gandhi who came out and said the Hindu groups are more worrisome for the country than the terrorist groups. And even in Karnataka, we know that the Congress leaders have been asking for support from the SDPI. So all of those things, if there's a party that cannot differentiate between a PFI and a Bajrang Dal, PFI being a banned organization that wanted to turn India into an Islamic state by 2047, and comparing it with a Bajrang Dal. So I think we need to understand that the psyche of that party is somewhere not clear about either what terrorism is or about their appeasement that they want to do in the name of bringing in these religious organizations. So the entire matter cannot be limited just to the movie. yes, these are the facts. These are even the Kashmir files and the Kerala story. I think these are facts, and there is no point in any party coming out and trying to ban those facts.
Okay,
or
so
opposing those facts
basically, Meitei, you are saying that the entire polarizing narrative was brought in by the Congress when they said that ban Bajrang Dal in their party manifesto. Nasir Abdullah, you know, if you look at it, by opposing a film, you are talking more about the film. And all those who have been opposing this film, if you look at what the Kerala High Court has said, perhaps they'll get an answer. Why oppose a film of this nature when, you know, there have been several attempts at banning films, but what is so special about it now? How does this film create conflict in the society? Nobody is able to answer that question.
Yeah, so obviously I can't answer it also because I'm not that active. I'm not a genius, but they obviously saw, the left front or whatever, the Congress guys, that they obviously saw that this was a little over the top sort of a film which could unnecessarily
No, but it was only a trailer, Nasir,
you know,
that was
feelings of
released.
animosity.
भाई ट्रेलर देख के कैसे पता चलेगा कि क्या पूरी फिल्म है?
So yes.
हाँ.
नहीं तो मैं आपसे नहीं, फिर मैं आपको फिर क्या जवाब दूं? आप फिर मुझे बता दीजिए, because the point is I have only one problem. I am not for the ban of the film. I don't. I think it's a horrible thing that has happened to whatever women it has happened to. It has happened to Muslim women in England who have actually thought, oh, they're going to go and help Allah. And I don't know why. I mean, Allah doesn't need any help. I mean, they're making him look very weak and meek. So I don't like this whole idea of this recruitment and, you know, how they manage to get women of other faiths as well to marry them and then to carry them. I find it abhorring. I find it a criminal act.
Rashid,
I'm
Rashid,
very
since it
against
has made an entry into...
And my problem...
Okay.
My problem was only one. My problem was only one. 32,000 women were told that they were abducted and taken away. And they make a film about it, and the police and the other agencies don't know about it. That was my problem. That intensifies Islamophobia.
So there is allegation against ISIS, not against Islam, is what the bench has said. What is against Islam is the question that has been asked by the bench. Rashid, since it is about Karnataka elections, and we were hoping... One moment, Nasir.
No bench. Oh, no bench. I'm talking about me. 32,000 women. That is 31,997 women extra. That is my only problem.
Rashid,
why are you lying?
Yes. Rashid Kidwai, the question here is about who really brought polarizing issues on table, on the narrative in Karnataka, if not the Congress, by putting that, you know, paragraph on Bajrang Dal.
Maria, when a prime minister of a country speaks, entire nation listens. He may be a political worker, he may be belonging to a particular political party. When he speaks for the nation. If a prime minister says that a political party, a main principal opposition party, is aiding, abetting terrorism or terror group, this is a serious charge. There is a law, UAPA. Why that is not being enforced? So either the prime minister, is saying something, not following with action. So it's a serious thing. I am saying all films are based on suspension of, belief. It's a creative liberties taken. It's a departure from reality. It's a work of fiction. And so while filmmakers are within their rights to make a film, someone else can have a counter argument or counter point of view. In this case, Mr. Shashi Tharoor had a point of view saying that this is not a story. But to dub it to terror, I think it's a serious one and it's a bit unfortunate also.
Ravi Rai, your thoughts on this intervention that has come from the Prime Minister?
Is it an intervention?
Hardly.
It is
very honestly, Maria.
Ji. Go ahead.
Okay.
Ravi Rai. Yes.
So Maria, you see, it hardly matters. I mean, cinema is absolutely far away from politics. Yogi Adityanath backed Ram Setu, but Ram Setu didn't work. I mean, there were other films also the politicians back that didn't work. Let me tell you one thing. Akshay Kumar has enormous Muslim fans and Shah Rukh Khan has enormous Hindu fans. Politicians may have a different opinion about using a film to their benefits or not, but that's not the case here. Now, coming back to Shashi Tharoor, Shashi Tharoor, he is a Congress MP. When he says this is not my Kerala, it is shocking. It is very sad. How does he say it's not my Kerala? We've been reading in the news, we've been reading since a very long time. Kerala has been galvanizing. In 2020-21, the bishop there has alarmed the chief minister, the Christian Association. How can Shashi Tharoor, this is as dumb as Imran Khan saying that we've never heard of Uyghurs. It is such a statement. And the man who writes Era of Darkness on British, he somehow is able to skip the era of the darkest. And what is, Maria, what is the film all about? Forget the numbers. I'm saying forget the numbers. For me, as a layman, the film is about, it is against ISIS. It is not, it is to protect the daughters of India. The film for me, till I see the film, I'm sure it's not about the Hindu girls or the Christian girls. It's also about the Muslim girls. Aren't the Muslim girls trapped there? We need to stop this.
Okay. I have just enough time and I'm really sorry for this. Because, we had to cut to that important press conference of External Affairs Minister. I have just enough time for Rahul Ishwar. Whose Kerala story is it?
Just two submissions. One, there were many instances of forced conversion. Let us not close our eyes towards it. Second, 32,000 is a very wrong number. I'm happy that they have told that they will backtrack that on the teaser. 32,000 is not there. There were cases of Nimisha Fatima, Sonia Sebastian, Rafael, Mariam, and similar girls. 100 people from Kerala went and joined ISIS. That is the fact of the matter. So let us not close our eyes towards reality, but let us not also over-exaggerate. See, this is the reason why we have to see reality as multi-sided.
Did you go and watch this
Truth
film,
is multi-sided and we have to accept both sides.
You saw the film?
Yeah, I saw the film. I'm just way back from the film. That's the reason why I was delayed by a minute. I saw the film. I came back from the film. The film is well made, but 32,000 is obviously a hyper-exaggeration. But there are realities of Nimisha Fatima we cannot ignore. This is the balanced stand I believe our society should take.
Okay. All right, Neeti Jain, really, glad to have you on my show. Nasir Abdullah, Ravi Rai, Rahul Ishwar and Rashid Kidwai, thank you so much. Of course, this is a debate which will be continuing. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.
I'm one of the contenders.
Okay. Thank you very much. There you have it, Mr. Siddaramaiah, one of the chief ministerial hopefuls of the Congress party. He believes this election is solely about local issues and the promises that were made by the BJP and not kept by the state government. Here in Varuna constituency with cameraman Chintan and Satish, this is Zaka Jacob for CNN News 18. So we have with us the Congress party's chief ministerial contender, the former chief minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah. He's had a hectic day of campaigning in his constituency, Varuna. You've had thousands of people in the roadshow that you've just had. What gives you confidence that Congress party will come back to power on its own in Karnataka?
I am 100% confident that Congress party would come back to power with comfortable majority. This time, the people have decided to vote Congress party only. The people of Karnataka are fed up with this government, BJP government. There is a strong anti-incumbency against BJP government. That is why they are comparing our government with Kumaraswamy government and BJP government. See, we are 1,000 times better than BJP government and Kumaraswamy government. And BJP government is the most corrupt government Karnataka ever had. This is the most corrupt government and most non-performing government. They are indulged in looting the state. all ministers, including chief minister, they are all indulged in looting the state. So this is the situation in Karnataka. That is why the people have decided already because 10th is the election. They already decided that according to me, and I'm 100% confident that Congress party would get comfortable majority.
Sir, BJP is making this about national issues, talking about minority quota, talking about Bajrang Dal, the ban that you proposed and so on, whereas you want to make it into local issues. How will you respond to that?
See, what we said was, those who are indulged in hate politics and creating violence in the state, such organizations we are going to ban, whether it is Bajrang Dal or PFI or any other organization.
But do you believe that this has given a chance to polarize the election?
No, it will not polarize the election. 100% it will not. Because people are not bothered about all these things, these emotional issues. In what way the people are concerned? Whether Bajrang Dal is there or not, or PFI is there or not, or any other organization is there or not, they are not bothered about it. They are concerned about the day-to-day problems.
Mr. Modi is saying that he has, ever since he's hit the campaign trail, Congress is making personal attacks against him. He's having big road shows in Bangalore. You don't think that will make a difference to the campaign in the last stretch?
We are not, it's not a personal attack against Modi. Modi is a great liar. That's what we are telling. You mean to say that is it a personal attack? What promises he has made in 2014, 15, 16? Has he fulfilled those promises? That is why you are telling Modi is a great liar.
Do you believe that Congress will not take the help of any other party if you were to fall short of majority?
That question does not arise at all, because there will be a clear, comfortable majority to Congress party.
And finally, who will become Chief Minister? Who will become Chief Minister?
जब पोलिंग बूथ में बटन दबाओ ना, तब जय बजरंग बली बोल करके सजा दे देना।
भाई कहता है काली क्या मैं गोली खाऊंगा इस देश के लिए।
The Karnataka Prestige Battle. Catching the bone pulse from newsmakers to voices that matter.
ये साउथ का प्रवेश द्वार है और इस बार हम यहाँ पर पूर्ण बहुमत के साथ भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार।
Congress party will come back to power with comfortable majority.
Congress should not get any space because it will take that particular state backward.
Issues, impacts, and implications. Battle for Karnataka. Verdict Day live. May 13, 6 a.m. onwards.
Strong anti-incumbency against BJP government. That is why they are comparing our government with Kumaraswamy government and BJP government. See, we are 1,000 times better than BJP government and Kumaraswamy government. And BJP government is the most corrupt government Karnataka ever had. This is the most corrupt government and most non-performing government. They are indulged in looting the state. All ministers, including chief minister, they are all indulged in looting the state. So this is the situation in Karnataka. That is why the people have decided already because 10th is the election. They already decided that according to me, and I'm 100% confident that Congress party would get comfortable majority.
Sir, BJP is making this about national issues, talking about minority quota, talking about Bajrang Dal, the ban that you proposed and so on, whereas you want to make it into local issues. How will you respond to that?
See, what we said was, those who are indulged in hate politics and creating violence in the state, such organizations we are going to ban, whether it is Bajrang Dal or PFI or any other organization.
But do you believe that this has given a chance to polarize the election?
No, it will not polarize the election. 100% it will not. Because people are not bothered about all these things, these emotional issues. In what way the people are concerned, whether Bajrang Dal is there or not, or PFI is there or not, or any other organization is there or not, they are not bothered about it. They are concerned about the day-to-day problems.
Mr. Modi is saying that he has, ever since he's hit the campaign trail, Congress is making personal attacks against him. He's having big road shows in Bangalore. You don't think that will make a difference to the campaign in the last stretch?
We are not, it's not a personal attack against Modi. Modi is a great liar. That's what we are telling. You mean to say that is it a personal attack? What promises he has made in 2014, 15, 16? Has he fulfilled those promises? That is why we are telling Modi is a great liar.
Do you believe that Congress will not take the help of any other party if you were to fall short of majority?
That question does not arise at all, because there will be a clear, comfortable majority to Congress party.
And finally, who will become Chief Minister? Who will become Chief Minister?
It is for the new.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. Ladies and gentlemen, just ahead of my flight, I found a place in a very quaint cafe near the airport in Goa. And we must thank, they call themselves the Goan Oven. And quite good food and nice hot cup of coffee, but all of that is later. Let's look at the agenda.